Are you new to homeschooling and want to know what's the best curriculum to get started with as a beginner? I'm going to tell you right now. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Akiba. I am a certified teacher turned homeschool mom. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about curriculum. There are a lot of different curricular choices out there, and it can be overwhelming, particularly to a new teacher or new homeschooler. So instead of spending hours and hours and months on trying to choose the perfect one, I'm going to use my expert opinion and I'm going to tell you what to go ahead and get started with. So I have chosen these curricula based on several different things. The first is the cost. When you're just starting out in homeschool, you don't necessarily want to invest a lot of money in your curriculum because you don't know if you might have a change of heart. You might want to send the kid back to school, or you might decide, hey, I don't like this one, I want to do something else. So I've chosen curriculum that are either free or that you can get a free trial of, or you can find relatively cheaply on eBay or Amazon. The second criteria was that the curriculum needed to be easy to teach. You're new to teaching, that's okay. You don't want to mess up. So I've chosen curriculum that are either scripted, which means they tell you exactly what to say, or it's just pretty easy to figure out what it means. And the last criteria was that the curriculum was fun and easy to engage kids in, because if you're just getting started in homeschool, it's really important that kids have fun. You want to let them know that, hey, this is going to be a fun experience for you. So those are the three things that I have in mind when choosing these curriculum. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I've decided. Reading Language Arts, also called ELA or Reading and Writing. So I've chosen the McGraw-Hill Reading Mastery Program. I use this program and I personally love it. It's 100% scripted. In this curriculum, the teacher's words are in pink and you just read those words and the children respond. Now, at first, the kids might be a little bit confused, but just repeat what you said and they'll eventually catch on. And I've taught using this program. Hopefully I have a clip which I can insert right here.
So why did Zeus know which people were evil and which ones were good? Only raise your hand once you have the part that you're going to read to give us the evidence. Okay, so I'll decide first.
The Greeks believed that Zeus saw and knew everything.
Perfect, that's it. Because he saw and knew everything. Okay? Why do you think people were afraid of Poseidon?
See, you could drown your ship, create a serpent, they come after you.
Okay, good. 2.
Midas.
Next.
Marigolds.
Next.
Marigolds.
This one.
Marigolds.
This one.
Marigolds.
This one.
Glittering.
What is it?
Glittering.
Next.
Form.
Next.
Tender.
Next.
Victim.
Next.
Desire.
Next.
Wealth.
Next.
So as you can see, this type of scripted program also creates a neat and orderly environment where kids are not confused. One of the things new teachers do, which I can attest to, is confuse kids in their teaching. So we have a curriculum that is fully scripted by experts in teaching and in reading and writing, and so I will go ahead and use this. The curriculum is available for kids from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade. Once you get into middle school, English Language Arts looks a little bit different, so I've omitted middle school here. If you're interested in me talking about middle and high school, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make a separate video about that. Another reason why I love this program is because I have access to it for free. So if you'd like to use it, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram, send me a direct message, and I will give you the resource so that you can use this program. I forgot to say also about Reading Mastery is that you can find it for very cheap on eBay. So you can find the teacher's guide, the student books for anywhere from like $5 to $100. It also includes spelling, grammar, writing, extra stories. It's just everything. It literally contains the full curriculum like a teacher would use at school. The spelling tests are scripted. How you teach spelling is scripted. It's all right there, and I absolutely love it because it's really engaging for the kids. The stories in these reading books are so interesting. When I was teaching fifth graders who were on a fourth grade level. So I was teaching level 4. The stories were so interesting. We read The Wizard of Oz, we read The Ugly Duckling, we read Langston Hughes poems. So it was really interesting and really diverse set of works that the children are studying. So I would highly recommend that program. So a free program for social studies is the Core Knowledge Foundations program. You can go to coreknowledge.org and you'll find resources from pre-kindergarten to 8th grade in social studies. The great thing about this is it's 100% scripted. So, and it's 100% free online. So you can actually buy the physical copy of the teacher's manual, which I just love holding that teacher's manual in my hand. However, if you want to just do it for free, just download the teacher's curriculum, have it on your iPad while you're teaching your children. The awesome thing about this too is that it's really interesting reading, and it also incorporates language arts and science. Math. Woo, you can look at math curriculum all day, but these are the two I'm going to recommend. The first one is Pearson's Envision program, and the second one is Eureka from Great Minds, so greatminds.org. It's called Eureka Math. Now, let me just start with Eureka Math because that's a program that's totally free, created by experts, pre-K to 12th grade curriculum. So it goes from preschool mathematics all the way to pre-cal. So if you have a child who is higher than that or is going to go on to calculus, AB or BC or stats or something like that, they're going to kind of age out of this. However, this is a good curriculum. The awesome thing about it is, number one, it's free. So it was written with American schools in mind. We don't have a ton of funding. Something like Pearson, there are a lot of different materials that you need to have with it, or that comes with the kit. But Eureka, Great Minds, the materials are like, okay, you're going to need 12 marbles and an egg carton, right? So it's things that you can find around town, around your household. So love that. The only thing about it is that it doesn't have a lot of practice on programs. So you'll probably have to supplement with something like Kumon book. As a teacher, this is a little bit difficult to teach with a big group of students who have different ranges, but as a homeschool parent, it's very easy. It's also pretty much scripted. It says, teacher says this, student says this. Pearson Envision. Let me tell you a funny story about this. I was teaching at one of the lowest schools in the lowest states in the United States, and you know what we used? Pearson Envision Math. And people were like, oh, our scores are so low, let's look for another curriculum, let's see what we can do. This isn't working for our kids, blase, blase. Fast forward a couple years and I was looking for the best curriculum to use to teach my children with. So I researched the top private schools in the country. Like, these schools are feeder schools for, like, you know, Harvard, Yale, whatever. The president's kids go to these schools like that. Guess what they were using? Pearson's Envision Mathematics. So is the curriculum what's making the children not smart, or is it the quality of teaching? I'd say it's the quality of teaching. So that just goes to show you and prove my point that curriculum choices really don't matter. It's all about the teaching and the delivery. And that's exactly why I've gone with these scripted curriculum, because they tell you exactly what to say and how to say it, and exactly how to explain things to children. This Envision, though, is not a scripted curriculum. They will tell you what to say. They'll say, explain this to the children, right? So you'll have to come up with your own words. Now, the reason I like this is because it's easy for you to teach without too much training, right? So they have these student workbooks, and in the student workbooks there are 3 levels. There's reteach, there's practice, and there's enrichment. So obviously reteach is for those students who are on the lower end, or you can just use it when starting off, right? You can just use it as, this is how I'm going to teach this. It's kind of like step-by-step teaching, right? And then there's the practice, and that's for the majority of students. And then there's the enrichment, and that's for those students who are on the higher end level who could use a good push. That's why I really like that. And if you can get your hands on one of those workbooks even to get started with, which you can on eBay for pretty cheap. Now, if you want the 2020 edition, you're going to have to shell out some money, but there's nothing wrong with the 2008 edition or even the 2000 edition. Not really much has changed in mathematics, so it's totally fine to get that older, outdated version of Pearson Envision. You can also get a free trial on the Pearson website, and you can use it digitally. The next generation science standards say that the most important thing, content knowledge is important, right? And you'll get that content knowledge about science through reading, writing, these social studies texts, and through math. The child is going to gain content knowledge. So they're going to get the content knowledge, but science engineering is more about developing thinkers. That's what we want to do here. Now, keep in mind, most schools don't teach much science and don't teach much social studies. We're heavily focused on testing and reading, writing, and mathematics, right? So that's why the overall science scores in the United States are quite low. Now, if you want your child to be an achiever, you need to teach them how to think, right? So it's not really important the content that's in here. However, I was blown away at the amount of content that was found in these textbooks and the amount of thinking that the textbooks were pushing the kids to do. It was really rigorous, and I loved it. And you didn't have to be like an experienced teacher in order to teach it. You just kind of follow the guide. So I would definitely go with McGraw-Hill Inspire. They have it from kindergarten to 8th grade. And then obviously they have high school, but that depends on what exactly the child is learning in high school. So for this curriculum, it's not going to be cheap because you're going to have to buy a different one each year. However, you can go online and you can get a free trial that's like 6 months long. And if you're homeschooling, 6 months is all you need anyway to teach the whole year's worth of material. Finally, PE, art, music, and language. So these are not really electives. I guess language is an elective, but these are still subjects that as a homeschooler we have to show evidence of. And the easiest thing to do when you're just getting started is this: put them in something. Whether it is something like a cheap ballet program or a pricey piano lesson, put them in something so that you don't have to worry about this part right now. Yes, there are actually objectives that kids need to learn about in physical education, in art, in music. However, it's not going to kill them for a year or so to take swimming lessons, and that will count as their PE. For art, art and music are interlinked a lot. So if they take dance, that can count for art and music, right? For a language, send them to a separate school or have them use something like, whatever, one of these free language programs. But that's really just for middle schoolers, and we're not talking about that a lot today. So that's it. I hope that has been helpful for you guys. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section below. I think the comments are on, so I'm going to be replying to your comments. If you want to know where to get these free resources from, make sure you're following me on Instagram. Send me a direct message. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.